Hello, everybody. Today, you are here following our masterclass from Blue Career. It's a space that I would like to connect with you so we can discuss the importance of personal branding for ocean professionals. Just a bit of history and why I'm here with you today. My name is Ana Vitória Teresa. I am a consultant in Blue Careers and Ski for Ocean Health, and I support professionals from the blue economy, also professionals willing to transition to the economy to create sustainable business models while they are focusing on creating their personal, on strengthening a good network of relationships, and while they have a strong positioning. Well, my whole journey started a few years ago when I decided to do a master's here in Europe, and I stayed. My path was international, so I came from Brazil to study, but I stayed until I reached what many call the pinnacle of a successful career, which was a job at the United Nations. I was so happy, but at the same time, I was feeling this internal feeling that I needed something for more for my career. And then when I became a mom, I understood that I needed geographic mobility, and I only would be able to do that if I had my own company. And that's how I started my blue career process myself, seeking for more independence, seeking for more geographical mobility across countries between Brazil and Portugal, and also how I was able to financially maintain myself over those years. So, this program that I'm bringing for you today is a bit of two things of the theory that we all know about personal branding, networking, soft power, skills, right? The blue skills that we need to become important and recognized professionals in the blue economy, but also my personal experience as a professional from the field. So today you will be hearing a bit more of all of those topics and also get to know my blue career program, which is a 4-week program composed of mentoring. It's a one-to-one mentoring, 100% personalized for you, that you will also get to know better during those sessions that we have today. Well, first of all, thank you very much for being present here today. This is a very special day for me. I really would like to talk to you with all those professionals that are really willing to connect their careers with the ocean, but also understand from your side, right? What are your motivations to connect your career with the ocean? Well, first, prior we start, I really would like to bring to you this this topic, which is the one second, which is our WhatsApp group. So we have a community of blue career professionals in which um, I strongly recommend you to become part, right? Because it's a community full of other professionals like yourself. It's a community that it's possible for you to network with more people, and you can join this community by whoops, by joining our one second, let me share with you, joining this community with this QR code is present on the screen right now. I think you are not yet able to see, but there is a link to our community which I'm posting also in the chat, and that you will find also in the description of this video. So in case you are also willing to boost your career in the blue economy, there you go. You are willing to boost your career in the blue economy, you are also able to do with our WhatsApp group. You can screen that code and you will be able to become part of our community by connecting with other members of this community, which are ocean professionals such as you. It's a place where I have as a central communication point for us to get in touch. If I have informations about the programs, if I have vacancies available for the mentoring, it's a place that I communicate all of that. And it's also the place where you receive opportunities and special prices. So a place where you receive bonuses, and if you are part of this community, you will quickly receive those informations very at hand, right? So I strongly encourage everybody who is part of this masterclass today to become part, to scan this code and enter in our Blue Professionals community, the Blue Career WhatsApp group. Well, let's go to the content of this class, right? So I would like to start by presenting what we will study across those modules. First, I have three modules that I prepared for you today. One is understanding the multi-potential paths for a blue career. So how you, as a professional in the blue economy, can position your services inside of this huge ecosystem. Second, you understand how to find your unique spot in the blue economy. And third, you understand how you can find your archetypes and unique voice in this place. And the module 3 will focus on identifying your soft power, which is an analogy that I do here for the soft skills, and how you can administrate meaning while uh, promoting your personal brand. Well, so to start this topic, I would like to bring to you next slide, which is blue careers. So when we talk about blue careers, we have this huge ecosystem of ocean connected careers. Of course, most people, when we say that we work for the ocean, they think about those four main sectors at the top of this iceberg. We have oil and gas, fisheries, ports, and transport, which compose of also the main sectors of the blue economy today. But we have in this iceberg of the blue economy many other sectors that are part of the blue economy, and actually that can compose this set of skills, this set of expertises that we as ocean professionals we can offer in this market. So here we have international commerce, benefit sharing, science, biotech, blue beauty, cosmetics connected to the sea and the technology behind them, but even the marketing, the sales processes, the startups, which can come from wind farms, offshore, to biotech, to shipping solutions, to education, to training, ocean literacy. We have culture also as a part of those sets of sectors that compose the blue economy. We have a creative economy, which is also connected to this marketing and etc., to storytelling, to literature. We have biotech, we have multilateralism, and all the role that international organizations also have in creating connections across countries, in sustaining collaboration projects. We have blue carbon solutions, blue carbon restoration projects. We have conservation. We have books, right? So we have people writing about the blue economy. That's also a segment of this economy. So the selling of intellectual property. We have desalinization solutions, nature-based solutions, clean energy, journalism, so communication as one aspect, offshore solutions, health, right? So many medicines come from the ocean today, and they compose the set of services that we have in the blue economy. We have communication, circular economy, anthropology, so many cultural specialists are also entering the blue economy today to bring their thoughts, their way of doing, and better solutions. We have blue justice, waste management. So those are many areas that we see when we talk about ocean careers. Those are the many fields that we have when we talk about ocean careers. So that's why I would like really for you during this masterclass today to open your minds regarding the blue careers, what they mean, and where you can act. I can tell you that for me, I chose to work across the ocean literacy field, right, with consultancies and with the careers field. So, in this one to one process that I have my mentoring Blue Career, but also with organizations in the ocean literacy side. So, those are my main focuses in the blue economy, but you can also choose yours. And that's why I always say that managing a personal brand is saying more no's than yes. We cannot be present in every space in the blue economy at the same time, but we can choose where we want to be. And that's why I would like you to pick from this list of huge sectors some of them, three of them, where your expertise relies on and where you can offer your services. And if you are today looking for a job, for example, stop sending your CVs without any strategy. Stop sending, amounts and huge amounts of CVs, because I know that many of you are not receiving not even replies for those CVs. When we have this type of result, we have to rethink our whole strategy. So think about where you want to be positioned, with who you want to talk, who from those set of segments inside of the blue economy you are expecting to talk with, and how you can better offer your services inside of this scenario of the blue economy. So this is one of the things that I really would like you to do today, right? Because if you are also transitioning from a new sector to the blue economy, I would like you also to think, which existing skills do you have that are exactly the ones that the blue skills need today? I can give you one example. People who come from finance, apparently those are completely different sectors, right? Finance and the blue economy. But finance professionals have a lot to teach to the blue economy space. They have a lot to implement in the terms of blue bonds, a lot to train professionals from this area. And that's exactly where your expertise fits. And for this reason, it's important that we keep in mind that our expertise is hugely useful for the blue economy. So if you think today that you need to develop only hard skills connected to the blue economy, that's not necessarily true. You will need both. You will need hard skills, but also blue skills, and that's one of the topics that we'll be talking today. But I would like you also to have in mind this concept of the blue acceleration. Why working with the ocean today is so important. We are seeing the ocean all the time in the news, because right now, in the moment that I'm recording this class, there is, for example, the conflict in the Middle East, and the Strait of Hormuz is all the time over the news. So this is one of the focus in the ocean that we are having in the news in the last days. It's not that this strait or this passage started to become important from one day to the other. Actually, is a place of a huge geopolitical importance over the last years, but now became hugely important because of the war. But it is happening, and the ocean plays this huge role in international commerce and will continue to play with or without wars, because we are seeing from 50 years to now what is called the blue acceleration. The blue acceleration is a rapid growth in new ocean industries, and the world is seeing that now through the eyes of the conflict, unfortunately, but it's something that many countries have already in their strategies for the blue growth, for example. But we have this scenario, right? So ocean sectors are expected to grow over the next years. That they are already growing over the last 50 years, but they are expected to grow even more. So existing maritime sectors, they will increase, and this includes communication, transport, tourism. They will continue to expand dramatically, and demand for services as well. It means that the global blue economy growth will continue to rise. Currently, the ocean generates 1.1 trillion dollars per year worldwide. It supports more than 3 million jobs globally and is expected to reach around 30 million jobs. I'm sorry, it's expected to reach 3 million by 2030. It means that the ocean economy will basically double in its size by 2030. And in 4 years after that, is expected to project and exceed 5 trillion. So again, basically double its size after 4 years. It means that a lot of attention is going to the ocean, a lot of attention is going to this environment. For the good and for the bad, and because we have many sectors willing to expand without thinking in sustainability, but also a huge need for professionals is growing when we see the scenario. So when you look at this scenario, think about all the areas where you want to be positioned, with whom you want to talk, and also understand that in this growth scenario, you can become a next professional to make the difference, to offer your services, right? Through your expertise, you can be a carbon credits professional, for example, that will be needed in this space. You can be a conservation specialist, will be also needed in this space. You can be a biologist, you will be needed in this space. You can be a renewable energy professional, will be extremely needed. You can be somebody working with communications, and so offer your services for the aquaculture, for the renewable energy, for the tourism, for the whole sector. You can be someone from maritime intellectual property, or that works with biotech and BBNG, and your expertise will also be needed. So this is what I really would like you to think during this class. What is it that is your focus with a blue career, and where you want to be positioned as a professional in this growing emergent field? So make this huge this effort from your side to really understand where you want to be positioned in this scenario that already exists. Let's think a bit about the main challenges for the blue economy today. Well, many people feel that the industry is too niche, but that's also an opportunity if you have a PhD or if you have a master. It means that you can position yourself according to your expertise. You are a specialist, right? So it's easier for you to offer your services to a certain target group. One challenge and one opportunity. It's incredibly common to face lack of clear pathways in the blue economy. I can tell you that because I myself have lived this. I finalized it 10 years ago, a master's on maritime special planning, and I end up working with careers and ocean literacy, which are completely different areas. Why it happens? Because with many professionals, because the theory that is taught at universities and at the school, it's very different from the reality of the labor market. And so you will need to fit your skills into the labor market and what the market needs today. So it's incredibly common to face a lack of clear pathways. That's in one side a challenge, because you don't have a career path like a doctor or a lawyer that basically everyone knows what they will do when they graduate. But you have what I call career crafting, which is a good thing, because you can yourself craft your career, you can design your path, and you can decide to where you want to go without having to take those fixed role models. For example, for a lawyer today, not a lawyer that works in the blue economy, but for a traditional lawyer, so to say, they have more limited spaces to grow, again because many are competing in this red ocean compared to the blue ocean, which is the topic of my last webinar series. If you have not seen, this material is also available to sale. But understand that a doctor or a lawyer, they have more structured paths for their career, while a blue professional have this wide range of opportunities, and somehow we can craft to where we want to go. So we have more flexibility. We also don't have enough guidance from supervisors and professionals, and the competition that we have is also not yet so clear. From one side, that's one good point, because if we don't have enough guidance from supervisors or professors, somehow it needs again uh, our proactivity in career crafting. But at the same time, we don't have enough competitors. So it's a new sector. For many of the services that you will be able to provide, you will be competing with zero people. And that's absolutely fantastic, because you have a blue ocean to explore your services, to offer your demand without the need of worrying of people copying you all the time, which is what happens in many other sectors. So for this reason, we have a challenge in the blue economy, because sometimes we don't have examples, but we have a good space for bringing innovation. And again, you are not alone, because I'm here to guide you in this process, right? One of the things that I see the professionals doing all the time is the skills. Uh, what it means that the blue economy is this emerging field, so it needs skills from other sectors. It needs multi-potential professionals. So today, we need again professionals that come from finance, professionals that come from marketing, professionals that come from communication, professionals that come from intellectual property, professionals that come from the port sector, logistics, human resources. Those are skills that are absolutely transferable to the blue economy. So it's possible also for you to become a multi-potential professional in the blue career. You don't need to know everything about the ocean, but you need to understand how to fit your services inside this ocean space. So that's also one big opportunity for us who are blue professionals, is to do this skills transferring, understanding what the market needs, and understanding how we can bring those skills to the blue economy. Certain sectors are especially in need of some skills in the blue economy, because they cannot find this inside of those pool of existing professionals. So it's important also to understand where your services need, where is your expertise, where is it that you like to do, but where is the needs from the market. And that requires many times a small market research, which is calling people, talking to them, and making them understand how you can support them, right? Prior creating this Blue Career program, I talked with more than 100 professionals from the ocean field. All of them gathered, supported me to gather feedbacks, understand where are the critical needs of blue professionals, so I could create this model. And that's something which is true also when you are creating a project, also when you are creating a product. So talk to people, don't be ashamed of asking feedbacks, asking opinions, asking which type of solution fits better the market. Skills transferring. So understand also which skills are universal, because some things like marketing, fundraising, storytelling, collaboration, they are somehow needed in all sectors, but especially in the blue economy. So if you already have skills in those types of works, you are very much welcome. So try to also to map which skills uh, are part of your box, your blue toolbox, right? Of skills as a professional in the blue economy. And make your skills visible, because it doesn't matter if you are a skilled professional, somebody with a PhD, somebody with a master's in a very interesting area. If you are keeping this communication to yourself, if you are not open yourself to the world and making yourself be heard, so in my program, in the Blue Career program, I support professionals to create a pitch, to align their visual image with the product they're selling, or the expertise that they want, or even the job that they are willing, to create an aligned communication strategy, to review their LinkedIn. If you want to be a professional in the blue economy today, you need at least to have your LinkedIn in English. You need at least to have your LinkedIn in more than one language, your national language, but English. You need to understand which are your specific wording and symbols. For example, if you are this is where you we will map your personal branding, right? Which are the symbols that make part of your storytelling. For example, I have clients that have champagne as a symbol, others that have books as a symbol, others that have uh you know celebration as a symbol, but they understand which are their symbols. And we also map in the Blue Career program your networking, right? So check if your networking is being feasible, if your networking needs to be strengthened, which tools of personal branding you can use to boost your networking. One example that I like to give are my necklaces. They are a personal branding tool because you will never see me without this composition. I will always be using one necklace. Those necklaces, they often tell a story. They often connect me with people because they are objects that I pick from travels, that I pick from business travels, that I have as also a part of an imagetic composition that I do in my looks. So this is one of the objects that are part of my personal branding, which are yours, right? And they help me to network because they help me to create connections with people. They help me to create this first conversation. They help people to remind who I am. Ah, she's the creative girl with the necklaces. She's the one always with a different necklace. For many years I used earrings. Now I use necklaces. But which is your statement piece that can allow people to have a conversation with you, right? So we in my program will also understand which are the objects that you can use in your look, in your speeches, in your references that can bring this idea of a professional that you want, right? And that can start conversations. So this is one very, very important aspect. So we can discover which is your unique spot in the blue economy. Well, your unique spot is this space where basically you don't have competitors, and where if you have competitors, they are not so many, a lot of people, but where you are able to make connections across niches using your skills, your unique skills. While boosting what I call your soft power, right? Because as the countries have a soft power, we also have ours, right? We have our charisma, we have our cultural way of doing things that can help us in boosting our relationships and creating connections with others. So finding your blue spot, your unique spot in the blue economy, also is connected to understanding who you are. And this is what we also assess in my one-to-one career program. So it's essential for you to move beyond this imposter syndrome, right? Because I know that many of you are there today. I've been there as well. When I was doing my career change to become an independent professional, I took years working on this business after work. So I was going to work, I was doing my 9 to 5 job, but I used to leave early. I used to leave, somehow, and at night and work in my business at night. At that moment, I didn't have kids, so it was possible. But for years, I cultivated this space. So, how you can also do this career change while in your 9 to 5 job? That's also possible. Because what is most important also here to create your unique spot, it's not that you have to do 100% every day. It's not that you had to give all in, right, every day. You need consistency, and sometimes this consistency will come 1% every day because it's what we can do, right, financially, or because we have commitments, we need that contract, we need that job. But that's what we are able to construct in that moment. And for you who is willing also to do a career change, that is also possible. You don't need to create a consultancy with employees and a team of 10 people from one day to the other. But if you are willing also to look for this more independent path, entrepreneurship, it's also possible to do with consistency. right? Building a bit every day. And you can also accelerate your results with my one-to-one mentoring process. So that's how you can also find your unique spots by mapping what exists, by understanding which are your skills and what you want to bring to the sector. But one thing is also essential is understanding who you are. And understanding who we are, it's also a tool that we need when we map our archetypes. So, what are archetypes? Knowing your archetypes is extremely important in a personal branding process. So, archetypes are universal patterns or types of behaviors, people, roles, characters that repeat across cultures, stories, movies, and real life. So archetypes, they are present everywhere. Basically, they help us to quickly understand the profile of a person or understand how someone will act or the previsibility, in regarding some actions. So many brands, and especially strong brands, right? Global brands that we know from, in every shopping that we enter, they are there. But even strong figures such as actors, famous people, celebrities, they use archetypes to make their image more solid and make their message more understandable easily. An archetype can support your communication to avoid confusion and erase this noise, around your communication. So archetypes affect this diagram, right, from Sensible Marketer. We will see that there are 12 which have been mapped mainly by Carl Jung, which is the psychologist, which was a pupil of Freud some years ago. But it's a person that has mapped mainly those 12 archetypes, which are present in our society, right? They were also mapped in another book, which is called The Hero and the Outlaw, or The Outlaw and the Hero. I don't remember the exact title, but it's a book that I recommend you to read that brings why brands are using archetypes in their communication. So there we have examples from Disney to global brands, such as the one that I will be presenting to you right now. So mainly we have four types of core archetypes which are connected to providing a structure, explore spirituality, leave a mark, or connect with others. And they have some attributes, and those attributes are connected also with the main archetypes. So let's start by Dove, for example. It's a brand that if you pick their marketing, their communication materials, their websites, their social media use, and their products, you will see that they communicate through the innocent archetype because they want to bring safety, right? Then you have, for example, TEDx, which is a brand that communicates across the sage archetype because they want to look wise. And that's what they bring. Every time that you see the videos of TEDx, you feel a bit smarter. You feel a bit, more connected to knowledge. That's one thing, that's one archetype that you can use if you are willing to work across education, for example, because you bring knowledge as a core value. Then you have, for example, Patagonia, which is this huge example of enterprise that was radically creative in terms of creating a new business models that gives to nature. And this is very connected to their root of an explorer, of seeking freedom of big conglomerates, freedom of doing business as usual. So Patagonia is a brand that really brought this explorer in the looks of what they sell, in the communications that they provide, even in the type of consumer they aim to reach, right? Because it's people looking for adventure, very connected to explorer archetype. Harley Davidson, right? It's a brand completely outlaw, so very connected to who is, for example, having a 50s crisis, right? But check their materials, check their marketing, their communication is always connected to this feeling of liberation, so leaving a mark in the world. We also have Cirque du Soleil, which brings power, right? Which brings also this strength of leaving a mark in the circus world, in the audience. We have Gatorade, which is very connected to the hero, such as Nike, for example. Brands for athletes, they work very well on the hero, for who is a top performer, for coaches, for people working in finance. For example, the hero, it's a good archetype to be used also for who is working across those sectors. The lover of Chanel, right, which brings intimacy. It's a brand which is not for everyone, but that brings a very strong communication and knows who she is and with whom she's talking to. M&M's, right, the jester. IKEA is the everyday person, right? It's like All Star, it's like McDonald's. It's a brand that fits everyone's lifestyle. IKEA can fit any house, anywhere, despite if you are rich or if you don't have enough money to buy your furniture. IKEA will fit, will have a solution for you, right? So, opposed to Chanel, she also knows with who she's talking to. Chanel is not affordable. IKEA it is, but they know with whom they are talking to. UNICEF, caregiver, right? We have even UN agencies working with archetypes. That's why I really want you to think about it, because uh, this is an important topic for you to have, and it's an asset, it's a strategic competitive asset to understand your archetype, because you can better define your messages. Rolex, so the ruler, control, and Lego, finally, the creator, which is always seeking innovation. For example, Steve Jobs was a person that would fit the creator archetype. Also, his brand, Apple, has fit the archetype for a long time. So, understand that you have archetypes in products, but you also have archetypes in brands. But this process and the archetypes that I'm bringing to you, they are very important because they support you to better know yourself and to better understand how you can bring your skills, how you can bring your message to the blue economy in a more effective way, right? So if you want to communicate across the outlaw, it's fantastic if you are going to do a great activist work, but not the best path if you are willing to, for example, create a consultancy in law, right? Because it does not fit. So it is very important for you, or if it can fit, but it has to be done with a lot of strategy. So it's important. Let's wait for this motorcycle. It's important for you to understand who you are, with whom you are communicating, and how. And that's one topic that I bring in my one-to-one mentoring program. So in the Blue Career, we will check your archetype. We will understand how your archetype can act as the software of your PCK and help you define your unique voice. Because we are not inventing something, we're just boosting what you have, right? Whether you operate, if it's in this edge of the explorer or the ruler or the sage, we will identify your key positioning. Even these elite universities like Harvard or Berkeley, they use archetypes. For example, they use the sage archetypes, which is one very connected to education, because it promises what? Success, marketing, or career opportunities. So the sage, right? And brands, they communicate and they are able to be present in our lives because they bring some value to our lives, and that's what we want to do with your brand as well, to showcase to your clients or to your recruiter what is the value that you pass, right, beyond your technical skills, right? Because we have the technical skills, which are very important, but we also have soft power here, which is extremely important. And we have your branding that is very important to keep. So we will do a short exercise here. I would like you to assess your blue career and what you need at this moment, right? So we will do an assessment of who you are and what is it that you need the most. One of them is starting by degrees, right? Because if you have already a degree, a master's or a PhD or a graduation, you will mark, and you think it's enough, you will mark in here in the circle from the close to the center, it's close to 0, and close to the top is close to 10, and you will pick a place where you think it's more important for you to mark your own assessment. So if you have a degree that you think it's okay, you will mark close to the edge. If you don't have, you mark close to the center. So for example, a degree, right, in the blue economy, a course, a graduation, if you think your degrees are enough, close to 10, and then if not, close to 0. Leadership skills, right? What are you doing today to improve your leadership? Are you connected to groups, to networking groups? Are you being called to become a speaker in a panel? Are you a reference in your field? So how is your leadership from 10 to 0? You walk the talk, right? Are you able to bring with coherence what you speak while you promote your services, or you are a person that, for example, promotes gender equality and then never hire a woman, or that promotes gender equality, and if a member of your team gets pregnant, you get crazy, or if you promote sustainability, but in all the food that you source to your employees, they are not sustainably sourced. So where are you in your walk the talk, right? Or you say to everybody that you are calm, and but you don't have emotional regulation. So where is this walk the talk in your personal brand? Do you miss this coherence mark from 1 to 10? Designs and visuals. So how is your look, right? Your personal visual. Is it connected to your personal brand? Is it connected to the contents that you bring on social media? Or you bring something on social media and then in reality you are in your pajamas? From 1 to 10, how this visual and design is compatible to the message that you are passing? Your tech skills, are they okay? Or do you need to take a course? Or do you need to improve? Or, are you able to write an email without the use of AI? Are you able to, use a Microsoft or a Google Pack services without support? How are your tech skills? Your global presence. So, are you able to network with people from outside your country? How are your contacts right now? Are you following international events? You've never been to one? Do people outside of your country know you? So, how is your global presence in the blue economy? Your communication. Are you able to communicate what you do, or you are somebody that for the moment is keeping all your knowledge to yourself? Are you bringing contents about what you do to LinkedIn, for example? From 1 to 10, assess also your result. And your languages, right? Are you bringing your, do you speak more than one? Do you speak English? Because that's a very big differential asset in the blue economy today, right? So if you don't speak more than one language, you certainly will go to close to one. And if you do, you are more close to the edge, right? So assess also your need to learn languages, and assess as well your networking. So in terms of networking, how are you positioned today? How much are you investing in networking? Do you invest financially in networking to accelerate your results? Or are you closed in yourself, not connecting with anyone? Is your networking just your peers from university, or have you met people from outside? Are you also recognized by these people? So your exercise should somehow look like this, right? Should look this, right? You will do like a spider web and somehow connect your dots. So from here, we have a strong assessment already of your branding, of your blue career, right? To understand where you can focus over the next months and where are areas that you are okay. For example, tech skills, it's market here. This is just an example, right? But tech skills is market in 10. So it's fine. I don't need to study that for the moment. I don't need to worry about that. But leadership needs an improvement, or communication needs an improvement. So those are areas that I will be focusing over the last next months. So this is an example of an assessment that we also do inside of my mentoring program. And this to arrive into this concept of hard and soft power, right? What do I mean by that when we talk about hard and soft power? Well, hard power is the influence that countries, and why do I do this assessment? Because I want to understand where you need support. If you need support in your hard skills, which are things that you need to right study, train yourself, and etc. to do, or if you need more support in your soft skills. So let's imagine ourselves as countries, right? If we were countries, we would have two sides of the coin: hard power and soft power. In the hard power, we have influence through control, authority, economical strength, as it's happening right now in front of our eyes in many parts of the world with the unfortunate conflicts. This hard power is generally projected through regulation, forests, capital, infrastructure, measurable outputs. Examples include military capacity, trade dominance, sanctions, or even at industrial scale. So a career built only on hard power or only on the hard skills, it's based on titles, degrees, technical skills, hierarchy, and the formal authority that you put on a room when you enter. But that's not enough, right? Because we also need our charisma to get where we want. We also need to convince people through other means, because if we try to convince people through control all the time, we get extremely boring and people just vanish. They just don't want to be close to an authoritative personality all the time. That's why we also need our soft power. That's the influence that we have over people through attraction, credibility, cultural impact. It's based on the identity that we have as blue professionals. It's bringing our ocean also to people. When we control the narrative, when we bring our relationships, our trust, and the examples, they come from many areas, right? In soft power, you can see examples coming from culinary, gastronomy, culture, music, language, accents, values, also lifestyle. So a career that mix hard power with soft power, hard skills and soft skills, it's a career that also can bring a good positioning, a reputation, storytelling. It's way more interesting, right? Than somebody that just works across control and authority. But it's possible to create your brand also creating narratives around relationships that you build, cultural intelligence, and the ability to also inspire trust. So if we check also this material that I developed for you, we can see the hard power and soft power, they work as a duality. And that's the same in our career. If you are working on just on one side on the other, it's not going to work, right? But we need both. But we need to understand that this soft power has a lot of importance, because we tend to give just the importance to the hard side of the truth, right? So hard power is absolute, soft power is relative. Hard power is more connected to physical force, while soft power is connected to charisma, to influence. Hard power is connected to military and economic force, and soft power to culture. That's how we want to influence others. Hard power through foreign policy, soft power through country branding. And we will see an example today of Brazil and Peru. Hard power through direct action and short term effect, and soft power through indirect action and long term effect. Hard power is controlled by the state, when soft power is not controlled by the state, but sometimes from a community. So it's decentralized from the state. And the hard power is the ability to change the position other people do have by coercion or force. And soft power, the ability to change things by making others attracted and convincing. So, one thing that I also encourage you to do is to define your hard power and your hard skills. So, understand which are your formal qualifications, your technical skills, your certifications and degrees, your years of experience, your job titles, your measurable achievements, budgets managed, KPIs, etc., etc. And ask yourself, if somebody look at my CV right now, what would they see? Right? Would they see a person full of diplomas but with zero charisma? Would they want to hire me because of that? Because that's most of the time what we receive when we are recruiting. I recently did recruiting in my office, and I received more than 20 CVs for a part-time position for an intern. But I was able to assess people, understanding their passion, right? From the way that they create a proposal to the way that they also behave in an interview. And that's also part of the soft power, because if you don't have also this charisma, also this way to bring your identity to your projects, but if you act like a robot, you will pretty much just make people to vanish, and never reply to your messages or to your emails, or even hire you. So think about where your authority comes from. It's from those long degrees or etc., or it comes from your public exposure. It comes from your expertise, from the way that you present, from the creativity behind your services. And where can you apply really this hard power with more intention? But also understand your soft power, your reputation in the field, what people say about you when you are not in the room, which is the focus of personal branding, and your network strength, right? So, which is the force of your network today, right? Who is connected with your network? Who can support you? Who cannot? What is your communication style, your tone of voice, your cultural fluency, your international exposure, your personal narrative? How is this part of your pitch? Your clothing, what stories do they tell? Which colors are you using? How they support you to tell a story? Your ability to build trust. And ask yourself, why do people choose to collaborate with me? What makes me memorable? Where does my influence come from beyond my title? And where can I apply my soft power? So, those are questions I also encourage you to do with yourself. And I would like to share you, which is a video from a session that took place in the United Nations a few years ago, where this famous singer, which by the time, his name is Gilberto Gil, by the time he was the Ministry of Culture. And he had a very particular way in calling Secretary Kofi Annan, which was the General Secretary of the United Nations back then, to the stage to come to sing with him. And I would like you to see as an example of how Brazil, for example, uses its soft power, right, through music.
Okay, thank you. Let's make it, let's make it short. Secretary General Kofi Annan, where are you? Come on stage, please. Secretary General, please. Are you here? Are you there? Are you there? Yeah! Yo, 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 yeah, 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 yo, 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 yeah, yeah.
Well, that was a bit of this video because I wanted to show you how, for example, in Brazil, we just act naturally when we sing, when we do compositions, when we call somebody to come to the stage, and how this can also be part of your personal branding. In the same way that Gilberto Gil acted with a lot of naturality, calling the Secretary General of the United Nations to have a person singing during the event, it was interesting to it is interesting to see how you also can do this type of process, and that's something that you might also use during your personal branding process, right? You can chose to use your charisma, but with strategy, also understanding which aspects of your charisma you can bring to your personal branding. Well, passing alongside this bring to you also the soft power of Peru, which is a country that has used with a lot of intention and this strategy mainly territorial branding. And this is the case of an official country which has created a brand to boost tourism, exports, but also foreign investment in the country by promoting the country with the brand called Peru that you cannot see because I think my camera is on the top of the logo, but it's a brand that probably you have seen in other spaces. So it's a brand that focuses on the image that Peru is a place for everyone, and it's a multifaceted modern nation with a unique and memorable, charming logo, but also a process that had a consultation with people that were to consume this brand and was accepted by 93 of the public rate. So it's a very successful case in which the branding and the brand behind Peru um, connects with the values of the people and the culture of the country. So I think that's also a very good example for you to see how countries are using uh, branding to promote um, their products, their materials, and etc. And this is what I bring to you today with this class, because what can we learn about all of those tools that I brought for you, from you today, but what especially we can learn from soft power? The soft power is then the increment missing to your soft skills, because the soft skills, they are critical in the blue economy, right? They include the social, emotional, and behavioral abilities connected to your career, communication, empathy, leadership, resilience, shaping how professionals interact and solve problems in the workspace. They also connect with how you involve proactivity, openness to feedback, social awareness, stress management. Those are skills that are often not put in our CVs, and they are somehow not even perceived, when somebody looked at our CV, but that we can work across our channels, across our communication touch points. And they are different from the hard skills, which are very important. They cannot be um, excluded, but from your scope of consideration, but they include different skills, right? And they come from digital capability of using programs to engineering, environmental competencies, but data analysis, marine engineering, specialized technical knowledge, so on. But they are different from the soft skills. And the soft skills here, they bring a very interesting theme for our consideration, which is the administration of meaning. Why branding is so important? Because it's the administration of the intangible, of what people think about us. Is the first impression that matters most of the times. If you are not able to capture people's attention in the first impression, you probably lost that opportunity forever. That's why soft power, that's why soft skills are so important, and that's why personal branding it's absolutely connected with that. And that's the topic that we work in my Blue Career program. When you finish your Blue Career program, you also receive this blue book, which is a material that contains all aspects of your personal brand, right? And that's something that you can use as a career guide. I did intentionally small like that because you can carry on your bag. I did thinking about women. Can you carry on your bag? Just bring with you for a meeting, for a career preparation, for an interview, for you to review whenever you need. So it's important also for you to think about your career as a strategic asset, right? It's not like a job. A job, you have one here, one there, you just change across your life. But careers, they're built, and careers, they have meanings, and we can administrate this meaning with strategy, and that's what we do in a personal branding process. So, just to bring you, I did a research one of those days. What are the 10 top soft skills that employees are looking right now in the job market? And they come from collaboration to teamwork, social influence, stress management, ethical judgment. So, understanding, for example, what is AI, what is not, writing skills, conflict resolution, cultural intelligence, time management, AI literacy, negotiation, and communication and public speaking. Those are the top skills being looked for recruiters right now. And I have selected those for you to see how important they are in the blue economy and what the branding tools that you can have and that you can use to strengthen it. For example, communication. The core meaning is, of course, translating one example here, complex social issues to accessible meaning to everyone, like basically ocean literacy. The soft power equivalence to communication is, for example, storytelling, narratives, mythology, cinema. So right, Hollywood does that all the time, right? It's a way to communicate values across cinema, values of a country. But the branding tools used to strengthen it are content creation in LinkedIn or other medias, clear public speaking, right? So how do you speak when you present something to another audience, the languages that you speak. So also remember of the assessment that we did in the beginning of this class, and your opinions and positioning, they are part of the set of skills and blue skill absolutely needed now for the job market. Systems thinking, so the ability to preview scenarios in its core meaning, right? Connect things that are apparently dispersed. The soft power equivalence is this interconnectedness, right? Understanding that something happening now, for example, in another country can affect the price of my fuel or the grocery that I do in my weekend. So, is this systems thinking? Is the understanding of how the ocean interconnects as well, and the dynamics it has, right? It is connected to full spectrum thinking in branding, in the ability to think beyond the obvious, in doing connections, in developing scenarios, and also understanding the impacts of your work in the world dynamics. And the cross cultural competence, which is another blue skill very much needed for the job market, that we need to have a connected, for example, with the soft power equivalent of the cultural diplomacy. So here we have these international experiences, storytelling, your professional networking, and so on, that are branding tools that you can use to strengthen it. And I included also ethical and sustainability mindset, which in branding are connected to being coherent with what you say and do, understand your values, know your archetype, and have your brand persona mapped. Well, all this content was to bring you to the most important part of this webinar, which is the presentation of my mentoring program. Well, Blue Career is a program that I created when I myself passed through this huge transformation in my career. I wanted to have geographical mobility, thinking freedom, intellectual freedom, but also more time for myself. And that's how I career crafted my path. And that's how I also want to support you to do it with personalized sessions. So in the Blue Career program, you will bridge your path between knowledge and the international blue economy space. You will position yourself as a different professional in this field. You will transform your experience in services, or if you are not looking to become a consultant or to become an entrepreneur in the area, you will understand how you can communicate your expertise to recruiters and attract organizations and global opportunities through LinkedIn, online, etc. We will understand how to create content about what you do, how to create a strategy for communication. We will elevate your career to international level, also strengthening your person with many different aspects. So when you leave the Blue Career program, first you leave with your Blue Book, which is this material containing the set of informations about your career. So you will be able to create your pitch, to define a color palette for yourself, to have a mood board, to understand which typography you will use to communicate your contents, to define the core seeds of your brand, which generally are three, to define a brand statement, to have a dictionary of your brand, so the wording, to define an animal connected um, to your archetype, define your quotes and expressions, your objectives, your attributes, your style, your tone of voice, and the target that you want to speak. All of that while seeking inspiration from people that you already admire, picking some attributes from them to compose your personal brand, and developing your manifesto, again also seeking to be in synchrony with your values. So this blue book contains all of those materials, right? It is a guide to your career. It is a mapping of opportunities also in the blue economy, because we do also a modeling and career crafting, modeling of business and career crafting. We also have a session completely focused on networking and on guidance on these international steps if you are, for example, a national professional. And we also do the review of your LinkedIn profile, because that's something that is also important for you to have as a professional. Well, in the mentoring calendar that I offer today, I have 4 weeks. One of those weeks is an extra session. So mainly it's 3 weeks. In those weeks, in the first, we do an initial mapping and assessment. We understand where you are and where you want to go. In the second week, we work across networking and partners. In the third week, we work across positioning and branding. And in the last week, we have an extra session where I deliver your blue book and where you also have access to me, really check your doubts and what else you want to do with this program. We have two options here of payment. First is the option A, where you have the full package and your blue book included. So 4 sessions and your blue book included. It's 600 euro plus the IVA from the region that I live in, the Azores. You have your blue book bonuses in PDF and printed, and you have this VIP access directed to me because you have 3 sessions plus one extra. In this one extra session, you can just open whatever you wish for your career guidance. And the option B, in case you cannot pay the full package, you can choose the individual session. The individual session would generally touch on a more urgent point to your career, but is also an important aspect that you can work with me that is more burning or urgent. So your blue book is really this career guide, right? Is this material that you have uh, that creates a connection between yourself and your career and the job market, and it's also where you have everything mapped regarding your career. So it's an important material for you to have as a guide for your career, right? So a bit of myself, because many of you no, first let me tell you what some professionals are saying about blue career. Leonilde is a director of a port in Mozambique. She just followed my program, and she said that the mentoring supported her to see what was not possible in an extended course. So she highly recommended. She did last month the mentoring with me. Maíra Cavenago, a blue marketer, she's transitioning to the blue marketing and communication. So she mentioned that it was important to have those sessions personalized because they are fully targeted, right? Those are the words of my clients, right? Are not mine, but it's what they mention about my program. And Reneta Georgieva from Bulgaria, which just also followed the program, and told me that I have a rare ability to bring clarity. And I supported her also to bring and define this clarity for her business, for new consulting business. Those are some examples of my clients, which have been able to feel and participate in the Blue Career program. But I also would like to bring you a bit of myself, right? Because we're here for the first time. So, my name is Ana Vitória. In 2024, I traded really the security of a UN job, a UN position in the United Nations, to creating my own company. I did it because I was looking for many types of freedoms. First, intellectual freedom. Second, geographic freedom. And I chose that after the birth of my child, I would not define my story, my professional story, in um, an office, but inside of my home office in the Azores, close to the ocean, where I'm living right now with my husband. So it's where I created a life which proves that it's possible to harmonize professional growth with family care. With my trajectory, I mean, over the last years, I lived in many different countries, but my mission today is mostly to support you, women, but also young professional, mid professional, senior professional in the blue economy, to position yourself. Especially this program was created thinking about women, but very recently I had many men coming to me and asking me if they can be part, if they can participate, and I can tell you that yes, you can. But I mainly guide professionals, right? The majority of who looks for my services are women, but I guide you to build an authority, to build an authentic brand inside of the blue economy. That's a process that I did for myself, that I applied with my life, that I am applying with other clients. That, as I told you, I have the testimonials of the who participated in this program and have very positive experiences. So it proves that you can develop your space, right? You can career craft, you can bring your voice to this blue economy that desperately needs more authenticity. So this is a bit of myself. I support professionals mainly in a career transitions, or professionals willing to find their authentic space in the blue economy to distinguish themselves. If you are interested, please write me an email, contact dot anavictoriateresa.com. Let's enter in touch. I can send you the proposal of the Blue Career Program, and I will be honored to have you as part of my next cohort of mentees. Thank you so much for following this masterclass. I really hope it helps you to start building your personal brand with more authority, with more strategy. But if you want to give this a step further, come to my mentoring program. I will be more than happy to support you. Thank you so much, and I see you in my next event. Bye bye.